What's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning back into At Home Dude. I appreciate you. Today we are going to go over an educational update. I'm just going to tell you about my kids who just turned 4 and 5 years old and what we do in the morning and how I am still educating them, but how I have adjusted it as they have grown up. All right, so first thing we try to do every morning, and I consider this part of their educational process. Basically, I lay out their clothes and then I put out their toothbrush and everything, and I tell them to, when they wake up, okay, put your clothes on and get dressed and then brush your teeth, wash your face, all that kind of stuff, just so they can get used to doing it and they start to understand that's the process for the morning. After that, we pretty much eat, and then what we do is we go into circle time. So I'm still doing circle time with the kids, and they do circle time with Miss Monica. It is on YouTube, and she puts out seasons of episodes Monday through Friday, and then she'll take a break, so we'll just kind of go back over them when she's not putting out new ones. But it's a really cool circle time, and she has it very organized, and I actually made things for them to complete while they go through the circle time. Okay, so this is an example of their worksheet that they complete during circle time, and I'll just kind of read it to you. So I just wrote this on paper. It says circle time at the top. They're supposed to put their name, and then it has what day is today, and they write down Thursday or whatever the day is. What is the weather, and it was sunny that day. And then what shoes is Koala wearing today? Koala is just like a bear that they do the weather with, and sometimes it's not koala, but I told them, hey, whatever bear it is, just do what shoes that bear is wearing today. And then what hat did Koala wear a hat, yes or no? And then they do the letter, the shape, and the number. So it's pretty interesting. Now that they are a little older, I have written everything out in sentences, so they have to read it, and then they have to fill in the correct response. And then sometimes they ask me how to spell certain things or whatever, depending on what it is, if they're used to spelling it or not. On the back, after they complete that, they just have their alphabet, which they do either uppercase or lowercase. I usually have them do lowercase because they struggle with it a little more, so I cater to whatever they're not doing as well, and then we just practice it more. The next worksheet they'll do is this one, and on this side it has what time is it, so they have to go look at our oven area. It has the time at their height, so they look at the time, they come back, and then they write it down. It has what is the date. So they'll usually ask me what the date is, and I'll tell them the date, and they just write it down. What is the season? We're in summer right now, so that's the season. I have them draw a star. It was just something we were practicing for a while, but now they're really good at it. I just put dots here so they know how to draw the star. What is the opposite of? And so they just write down some opposites here. And then last things are draw 2 triangles, draw 2 squares, just kind of something random for them to do that's different than the other things that's on this. Okay, on the other side it has what is their birth date, so they usually put that in. How old are you, and what is mommy and daddy's name, so they write all of that out. And the last worksheet for now that I made for them is just some math. So they'll go and they will get, we just have kind of started this more recently, they'll get this and they'll do their math. So I taught them how to add on their abacus, and they use it and they do their math, so it works out pretty well. I'm a little bit surprised how quickly they picked it up. So also throughout the week, on some of the days, I've been working on them with the time. So they are pretty good at the time, but they also don't usually see this kind of time. They usually just see the digital clock. They don't see this clock. I don't know if you would call it analog or whatever. But this box has plenty of little activities that involve time, and I definitely could say it's a good buy. We received it as a gift, but you can write on this, write the time, and then they fill in the time. It also comes with dice, and they can roll the die, and it has the time on it. So then I have them put whatever the time pops up on the die, they put it on the clock. And then it also has some other just like puzzle pieces where they have to match up the time with the puzzle pieces. So that's a really good activity set, and it's just all about time. I'm trying to get them to be more aware of it and to understand how to read clocks. Lastly, I was in Costco and I just bought more of these books. I bought a first grade one, which is a little more advanced, but we're still doing the kindergarten ones. Generally, they run for about 10 bucks a pop, and they just have all kinds of stuff in it for them to do. And sometimes I'm surprised because they like doing it in the evenings or whatever when we're not even doing school. But other times, sometimes we do it and they get bored or they get tired of doing it, but that's just how kids are. So these are the things that I am pretty much actively working on with them every single day. We still do reading and stuff like that.
But he said no. He did.
It's just mixed in here and there. Maybe when I'm not doing the clock one day, we'll just read books or whatever. And so this is just to give you an idea. 4 and 5 years old. My 5-year-old boy, he's handling all of this pretty well. He's able to pick up things and do them on his own. My 4-year-old is a little less mature. His focus isn't as good. He isn't able to focus for as long a period of time as my 5-year-old. Also, in general, he isn't necessarily as good at taking instructions and executing them. So my 5-year-old is ahead, but otherwise, they both are able to do all of these things. Here and there, I'll give them a little help if they ask questions and stuff. And then other than that, we are good. So let me know if you have any questions. If your kids are doing anything interesting, throw it down there in the comments. I'd love to hear what you do with your children. And let me know if you have any questions. I am out. Bada bing, bada boom.